today's episode of Zombie Farmer, here figured you for sure you'd have a cup of coffee after last night. Giggity giggity, let's go plotting. Here's kind of a rundown of this plot real quick. Gosh, I can't speak to the owner why. Welcome back to the good old Southern IA. The last time I left you guys was earlier this morning. It was actually about 3.5 hours or so ago. Wait, no, that don't make sense. 4.5 hours ago. 4.5 hours ago. I don't even think the engine on this tractor is completely cooled down. So, on today's episode of Zombie Farmer here in Southern Iowa, I'm going to try and get my soybean plot in, and I'll give you more details on that here to come. But I'm going down the road, making it to the shed, getting all the bean plot beans on, getting the bean planter ready to go. Maybe planting beans? After yesterday, I don't even want to guess. So if you guys are new to the channel, where the heck have you been? Well, welcome. My name is Ben. I'm a 28-year-old second-generation farmer, working down here in Southern Iowa on a family farm. Taking you guys along with me, showing you the trials and tribulations of being a younger farmer in today's age. Lately, I've been taking you guys along with me on a daily planting vlog, showing you the things that we gotta do to get the crop in the ground to harvest a crop this fall. But in honor of the planting season vlog, the first vlog to reach 2,000 likes, which we haven't done yet. Come on, let's get her done today, huh? What do you say? I'll give away a hat, and it's actually one of these hats. And it's supposed to start raining today at 2 o'clock for like 4 or 5 days. So no pressure. Figured you for sure you'd have a cup of coffee after last night.
I'm ashamed to say it crossed my mind.
The weather stick is
It's torn.
it's political. Hi, girl. So here's what we're looking at today, ladies and gentlemen. I will explain this a little bit more in detail as the day continues on. Andrew's taking care of some seed business right now, and then I am going to go plant the back end rows of this soybean plot. This soybean plot is not going to be a hybrid plot. It's going to be a treatment testing plot and a population testing plot, and it will have 2 different numbers in it. Like I said, we'll go into a little more detail on that as we start to divulge here, but first thing I need to do is go put me in some end rows on the back end of this plot. Planter yoga. Giggity giggity, let's go plotting. Guess that works. So the first thing that we have to do here is actually clean this planter out. It's unfortunately a mix of 3-4 and 3-2 beans, and I really want it to be really as accurate as I can, so we're going to do a quick clean out. I don't think there's that many beans in there. Oh, that was a good bit in that one. But after doing this clean out, here's kind of a rundown of this plot real quick. I'm gonna put 3-2 treated at 160,000. That's gonna be my base population, is trying to get to 160,000. Then we're gonna go 3-2 untreated. So when we go to the 3-2 untreated, actually I might go to 3-2. I might flip these two right here because that's gonna be treated as well. Then I don't have to unload it and then reload it. Yeah, but so we're gonna test 3-2 treated, 3-2 untreated. And treated means is that it's our treatment. It has fungicides with the Olivo. Olivo is the big kicker against sudden death syndrome, which really can knock the yield off of your beans. We're using Olivo still, and we'll talk about Saltro here in just a second. But when it says treated, that's with the treatment that we treat our soybeans with. Untreated is just a naked soybean. And what we're looking to do there is to see if sudden death becomes prevalent, how much, you know, we are saving on sudden death wise, and then also to see if there's a yield response, which last year with later planted soybeans we still saw like a 3.5 or so bushel yield response by treating the soybeans. So we're going to duplicate that test again this year, but then we're going to switch to 3-5 beans. We're going to go to 3-5 treated beans, which I might do the Saltro beans. I might move the order of these, but treated, Saltro, and untreated. So the treated soybeans, obviously we talked about. Saltro, so then Saltro is the new Syngenta product. Gosh, I can't speak, I wonder why. So Saltro is the new Syngenta product. There we go, I got it out. This is hard. That's supposed to be kind of a competitor with Olivo and maybe be a little bit better. So we're gonna test it out versus the Olivo. So that's just the sudden death treatment. That's the thing that's changing on those soybeans. And then we are going to continue to work our way down the plot. We're also gonna do another 30-inch row check. And then we're actually gonna do a population check with all Olivo treated beans. Like I said, the base population on this plot is gonna be 160,000 seeds an acre. So the population checks are going to go 120, 140, 160 is the base treated, and then we're going to go up to 180. So we'll have 4 different population checks, see if there's a yield response in between any of those populations, figure that out. So that's kind of the base of this plot here. It's kind of the first type of plot that I've ever done of this style. So we're going to see how well it goes. And then I guess I probably should put a little bit of a disclaimer in here. I don't have really a pony in this race by any means in terms of chemicals or anything like that. This is just simply, I'm not getting paid by anybody to do that. I mean, I guess Champion does supply me with a little bit of plot seed to do these, but nothing like a 20-acre plot that I am doing. And I am a dealer, a seed dealer for Champion too, so that's why we're using these hybrids. But it's not like I'm putting a pretzel brand against the China corn or something like that, and that's, my data might be skewed that way. Across the road, the corn plot's, you know, a hybrid plot. It's not, I'm not going to try and favor one hybrid over another hybrid or something like that. It's just a straight plot like that. And in this situation, I don't really care if Olivo wins, I don't care if Saltro wins, I don't care if untreated soybeans win, or it's literally just a data gathering, trying to expand my knowledge, unbiased plot. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah, you're unbiased.
What do you mean?
On plots, I don't know about blue track.
Yeah. We just put in the 3-2 15-inch row Olivo beans. What we're gonna do now is, stop it, bud, it's just Andrew out there. What we're going to do now is actually disengage all the front box, which are the splitter boxes, which makes it the 15-inch row spacing. So when we disengage that, we're essentially taking away 12 row units, giving us a 30-inch spacing. And so I'm going to get into the book here in a second. Look for, it's actually planted at about 150, so that might be, I'm just going to leave a base sprockets out there of it like 150. So then I'm going to look for a 300-ish population, what sprockets those would be for this setting. which essentially will give me half of that for 30-inch rows, so I keep my population the same. Does that, hopefully that makes sense. So now this thing's just gonna beep at me the entire way up, entire way back, because none of the front boxes are gonna be planting. It's set to like 311,000 high up there, but it's only gonna be planting 150-ish probably. So in between each pass, I like to try and keep a 30-inch row in there. To keep that 30-inch row in there, I just use the nudge function and stuff, but since this is unbalanced, I'm gonna do my best. So I'll give the GoPro to Andrew and he can maybe follow us up and back.
So if you watched yesterday's video, you know we was up till 4 in the morning. I hate to do it. Here's my kickstart. Key parts to putting the plot in is your flag man.
So the pass that I'm about to put in now is kind of one that I'm excited to see, these 3.5s here. I think I can gather a lot of good data off of this. So I talked about it a little bit earlier, and this is the Saltro treated. So Saltro is the new kid on the block essentially. And all of the brochures are saying that, hey, it's going to be better than Alivo or yada yada yada. But you know, that's also put out by the company, so what are you going to believe? And from a little bit of my independent research where I was actually talking to people that study this stuff, is that they had a feeling that maybe if soybean cyst nematodes are present, that Saltro won't do as good as Alivo will. And because, actually, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure if you treat your beans with Saltro, you lose your soybean cyst nematode protection, which you gain when you have Alivo on your soybeans. So in this situation, we have untreated 3.5s as a control. We'll have Alivo treated 3.5s, and we will have Saltro treated 3.5s. So we'll have a control at what your beans would do if you just put them in the ground normally, and then you have the test of the two treatments that you're going to want to do. And you're going to want to see the return on your investment. You know, it costs a good chunk of money to get treatment onto your soybeans, and you know, which we try and keep that cost low, but we want to make sure what we're putting on there pays. Last year, when we planted the beans, and they were June planted beans, we still saw like a 3.5 bushel response to late planted soybeans. Well, the cost of the treatment was like 2.8 bushels, so you gained $8 or less an acre or something like that, but it still paid that later on. So until that point, it still makes absolutely no sense in my mind why you would put untreated soybeans in the ground. That can always change, and that's why we keep doing these tests. Is this the beginning of a Saltro era or a fizzle at the gate? We'll find out at harvest. Everything's going good here. We're variety tracking, obviously. This is the different colors down here. Now everything that we have left is 3.5s Elevo treated beans, which is going to be the head-to-head versus the Saltro, a 30-inch spacing, and then 4 other populations like we talked about earlier. So now we're back to the 30s here. So at the 30s, like I said last time, all I'm doing is disengaging the front rows here. When you disengage the front rows, it beeps at you. But we're just skyrocketing the population on the back and turning off the front row splitters, creating 30-inch rows. Okay, so we're moving forward here pretty nicely. And what I purchased was, it's called a half rate kit. On the drive sprocket on the back of this planter, since it's ground driven, it'd be nice if you could just hit the monitor like the other one and change the population on the corn planter. But the ground driven sprocket is a 30 tooth, so I bought a half rate kit, which is a 15 tooth. So essentially it's going to drive half of it, which is a sprocket and a chain. And so in the book I look up my population and then I cut it in half. So my population checks that I'm going to do is 120, 140. We were planting right around 160, give or take, and then we're going to do 180. So those are my 3 population checks. Well, it's technically 4, since 160 with the Elevo treatment is the same thing here. So we got 4 different population checks here. So what I have to do is get in the book here, and on my 15-inch rows, I want 120, so I need to go to 240. So that's 24 and 26 will probably get me close to one. I'm gonna do 26 and 28 actually. I feel safer there that we'll get right around 120 of a population, I'm guessing. So 26 and 28 plus the half rate kit, and we're should be in good shape. It's not planting too bad. I mean, it's definitely off a bit there, 112. It's been hanging out around like 113-ish, so I'm gonna have to call it like 113 on the flag. Didn't make it to really 120, but we'll try and get a little closer to 140 when we do the next pass. So we'll up the population even a little more. So at 26 and 28, we were supposed to be 247 divided by 2. $247 divided by 2 is 123 is what we were supposed to be planting, minus, so we were 10,000 low. So for 140 I need to be really planting, so I really need to add 20,000, so it's 160 times 2 is 320, 23 and 19. Okay, so all I have to do here to change it is that I'm just adding a new product. For some reason it takes a long time when it does that. It's soybeans. It's a champion soybean. Obviously we talked about that. It's a 3.5. This was my plot winner last year, and it's been a really solid bean. And so my target population is 100. Oh, that's a miss. Push 180K. And then I keep putting ILEVO. That way if I share it with somebody, I know it was treated, but that makes it so they know it was treated. That's good. We can show you guys this here too. So there you go. You can see all the colors really coming in. You can also see how this farm's actually planted. It's got terraces here that are still needing to be built. That one back there is needing to be built. That one's actually planted. So we're finger putting in or selectively planting. Yeah. So the good news is the plot's in. And it didn't rain on us. It sprinkled on me once. So that one planted at 170. 170-ish basically. It bounced around a little bit. So 171 there. Oh, we'll say 171. That means that we jumped by 20,000 each time. That ain't too bad. So this farm has 48 acres of it on it, the row crop. And currently we have 39.1 acres planted. According to the ag leader, there might be a little bit of wiggle room in there. I can plant some more, which I'm planning on doing, and if I do that, that might get me closer. It will get me closer. Obviously, you plant more, it gets closer to your 48 acres. So I'm hoping, hopefully, maybe I'm like within like 5 acres that I have unplanted going into this terrace situation. Yeah, I mean, we are. What time is it? We are at 2:46, and I think it's really kind of supposed to start raining in about 3. Let me get out of here. Dang thing. 2 o'clock starts raining. Thursday's rain. Hey, and then next week it gets sunny again. We might have a good chance of getting off, getting some stuff growing here in a good way, shape, and form. Anyways, guys. I like how they changed the weather forecast when I busted my butt until 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday, when it was supposed to rain for 6 days. Now it rains for 2, sunny, rains for another 1, and then sunny for the foreseeable future. Anyway, it don't matter. Can't control it. Don't worry about it. Well, guys, I went and got a Casey's Pizza here. We got the soybean plot put in the ground. I planted probably another 5 acres after that, so I'm thinking I got like 6 or 7 acres here. Probably about 6 acres that I don't have planted in the soybeans. Not a big deal. Terrace and tile work needs to be going in on it. The rain hasn't started yet today, but it will at some point, and it's supposed to be raining all day tomorrow. It's a good deal. I need some sleep, and we'll catch up with you guys the next time that we're back and going down here in southern Iowa. So say bye, Andrew.
Bye, Andrew.
See ya. And we get to fill it out of the buggy this time. Which means the bean wagon's here.